I never expected the woman who terrified an entire office to become the one who saved my broken family. 3 years after burying my wife, I was living on autopilot, raising my daughter in silence and hiding inside my job. Then my boss asked me to help her find love online. What started as a harmless favor turned into whispers at work, a choice that could ruin my career, and a question my 8-year-old daughter asked that stopped my heart cold. Because the moment I fell for my boss, I had to decide whether protecting my past mattered more than risking everything for a future I never believed I deserved. I never planned to fall in love again, not after grief hollowed me out and left only routines behind. My name is Daniel Parker. I am 35 years old, and for the past 3 years, my life has revolved around two things only: work and my 8-year-old daughter, Emma. Every morning in our small apartment in Portland, Oregon, follows the same pattern. I wake up before the alarm. I lie still for a moment, listening to Emma breathe in the next room, counting those breaths like a ritual. Then I get up, make coffee I rarely finish, pack a lunch I hope she will eat, and rehearse the day in my head so I do not fall apart halfway through it. Cancer took my wife, Hannah, slowly and cruelly. By the time she was gone, I had already learned how to survive without joy. I told myself that was enough. Emma needed stability, not a broken father chasing happiness he no longer believed in. So I buried myself in work. At Northline Media, I am the executive assistant to Claire Morgan, creative director, industry powerhouse, the kind of woman people straighten their posture around. She is 37, brilliant, sharp, always 10 steps ahead of everyone else in the room. She does not waste words. She does not tolerate excuses. She does not let anyone see her hesitate. When people talk about her in whispers near the coffee machine, they call her intimidating, ice cold, untouchable. They do not see the woman I see at 7:30 in the morning, alone in her office before anyone else arrives, staring at her computer screen like it might betray her. That Monday morning started like every other disaster. Emma spilled cereal all over the kitchen floor. One shoe went missing. A last-minute science project reappeared out of nowhere. By the time I dropped her off at school, my tie was crooked and my hands were shaking from rushing. When I arrived at the office, Claire barely looked up. "You are late, Parker." I placed her black coffee on the desk, exactly 2 sugars, lid turned just enough to the right. I nodded. Traffic. She studied me for half a second longer than usual. "You look exhausted." It was not concern, it was observation. Claire Morgan noticed everything. I forced a smile. "Busy weekend." She said nothing more, but 10 minutes later an email popped up on my screen. "Come to my office. Close the door." My stomach tightened. I ran through every possible mistake in my head. Missed deadline, forgotten attachment, wrong meeting time. When I stepped inside, she surprised me by leaning back in her chair instead of standing like she usually did. "I need your help with something personal," she said. Personal was not a word Claire Morgan used lightly. She hesitated, then turned her monitor toward me. "A dating profile." I blinked. "I am sorry, I think I misunderstood." "My sister made it," Claire said flatly. "She insists I need to start dating again. I have no idea what to write. And this thing makes me sound like a corporate robot." Against my will, I smiled. "That is because it is written like a press release." She frowned. "Exactly. That was how it started." During lunch breaks, after hours between deadlines, I helped her rewrite sentences. We removed titles, added real interests: photography, hiking, baking disasters she pretended not to care about. What surprised me was not the task. It was how easy it felt to talk to her when the walls came down. One evening, as the office emptied and the city lights blinked on outside, I suggested she mention her photography. "How did you know about that?" she asked. "Your desktop background last spring, mountains in Colorado." I noticed. She stared at me, something shifting behind her eyes. "What else have you noticed, Daniel?" The way she tapped her pen 3 times before making big decisions. The muffins she brought when she was in a good mood and pretended were leftovers. The framed photo of her parents she kept hidden in a drawer. As the words left my mouth, I realized I had crossed a line. But instead of pulling away, Claire exhaled slowly. "Why are you still single?" she asked quietly. The question hit harder than I expected. "Because my daughter comes first," I said. "Dating would complicate things." She studied me. "Or maybe you are hiding behind her because it is safer than risking loss again." I stood up too fast. I should go. "Emma has a babysitter." For a week after that, something tense and fragile hung between us. We still worked together, still edited the profile, but now every glance felt loaded, every silence louder. Claire began asking about Emma. about Hannah, about who I was before grief shrank my world. One evening, after I told her about Hannah volunteering at children's hospitals even while she was sick herself, Claire whispered, "She sounds extraordinary." "She was," I said, and for the first time, it did not hurt to say it. That night, when the profile was finished, Claire turned her chair toward me. "I do not want this," she said. "Not really." "Then why do it?" I asked. "Because everyone expects me to move on, to want something new." She swallowed. "But the truth is, the person who already knows me is standing right in front of me." I thought I misheard. "Why do you not just take me out instead?" The world went quiet. "You are my boss," I said stupidly. She smiled, nervous and human. "And you are the only man who has looked at me in years without wanting something from me." My heart raced. Emma, work, boundaries. "Life is complicated, Daniel," Claire said softly. "That does not mean we stop living it." That night, I sat on the edge of Emma's bed, watching her sleep, my thoughts spiraling. When I finally asked her how she would feel if I spent time with someone new, she opened her eyes and said, "Is it Claire?" I froze. "You smile when you talk about her, Dad. And you fixed your hair last week. You never fix your hair. Children see everything." "Would it be okay?" I asked. Emma thought carefully. "Does she make you less sad?" I nodded. "Then yes," she said. "Just tell her no phone calls during dinner." The next morning, I stood outside Claire's office, my hand hovering over the door. When I stepped in, she looked guarded. "If you are here to pretend yesterday never happened," she said, "we can do that." "Actually," I said, my voice shaking, "I was wondering if you like pizza." "There is a place Emma and I go to on Fridays." Her composure cracked. "Are you asking me on a date?" "Yes." Her smile in that moment was worth every ounce of fear. That was the beginning, not the fairy tale part, the fragile, dangerous part. Because love does not arrive cleanly. It arrives with consequences. And neither of us knew yet how much it was about to cost. Would you have taken the risk if you were in Daniel's place? Yes or no? The first date did not feel like a date. It felt like a test. Emma sat across from Claire at the small pizza place we had been going to for years, her legs swinging under the table, her eyes sharp and curious. Claire tried to act casual, but I could see the tension in her shoulders, the way she folded her hands together as if she were walking into a board meeting instead of dinner with a child. "What is your favorite color?" Emma asked. Claire blinked, then smiled. "Green, like forests after rain." "What about you?" "Purple," Emma replied instantly, "but only the dark kind, not the baby kind." I watched Claire laugh, a real laugh, unguarded, and something loosened in my chest. For the first time in years, the weight I carried felt lighter, even if only for an hour. On the walk home, Emma slipped her hand into Claire's without asking. "You can come again," she said matter-of-factly, "but you have to promise not to steal my dad all the time." Claire knelt in front of her, eye level. "I promise. I would never take him away from you." That night after Emma fell asleep, Claire and I stood quietly in my kitchen. The moment felt fragile, like a glass held too tightly. "I am scared," I admitted. "So am I," she said, "but I am more scared of not trying." That was how our relationship began. Carefully, quietly, hidden behind professionalism and late-night texts that never crossed lines during office hours. At work, nothing changed, or so we thought. People noticed things. Glances held too long, the way she trusted me instinctively in meetings, the way my confidence grew. Rumors did not start loudly, they crept. By the third month, whispers followed me into elevators. One afternoon, a coworker leaned over my desk and said, "You must be doing something right. Claire never favors anyone." I did not answer. I should have spoken sooner. We both should have. Then one morning, Claire did not come out of her office. Her assistant told me she was in a meeting with human resources. My stomach dropped. By lunchtime, the rumor had teeth. "They are saying you slept your way into the Anderson account," someone whispered near the microwave. I turned around too fast. That account was secured months before anything happened. Silence answered me. That afternoon, I was called into HR. Claire was already there, her expression unreadable, her posture perfect. "We have a policy regarding workplace relationships," the director said calmly. Claire spoke before I could, which is why I requested Daniel be transferred to editorial. I stared at her. "You did what?" "It is a promotion," she continued. "Content manager, reporting to Thomas Weber. No conflict, no scandal." My chest tightened. "You decided this without me." The meeting ended politely. Professionally, the argument did not. I followed her into her office and closed the door behind us. "You took control," I said quietly. "Again." "I was protecting you," she snapped. "People were already talking. I will not let your reputation be destroyed because of me. I do not need protection, Claire. I need a partner. Someone who trusts me to stand beside them, not behind them. She flinched. This is who I am, Daniel. I make decisions. I handle problems. And I am a man who has spent years carrying everything alone, I replied. I cannot build something real if you keep deciding my life for me. The words hung heavy between us. For the first time since we started, she did not have an answer. The distance that followed was worse than any argument. We spoke only when necessary. At work, our voices were clipped, efficient. At home, Emma noticed the absence. Did you and Claire do something wrong? She asked one morning. No, I said too quickly. She frowned. Then why does the house feel quiet again? That question broke something in me. That evening, instead of going home, I drove to Claire's apartment. I stood outside her door for 5 minutes before knocking. When she opened it, her eyes were red. I am tired of being strong all the time, she said before I could speak. So am I replied. She stepped aside. Inside, the woman who commanded boardrooms sat on her couch in socks and a sweater, her walls bare, her life neat but lonely. I am afraid of failing them, she whispered. You and Emma. I have never done family. I do not know how to share space or mistakes. I sat beside her. Then we learned. Together. For the first time, she let herself cry. Not quietly, not controlled. I held her while she shook, realizing strength was not the absence of fear, but the courage to stay when fear showed up. The transfer went through. I started my new role in editorial. For the first time since Hannah died, I felt like I was building something that belonged to me. Claire began leaving the office earlier. She came to Emma's school events, burned pancakes with her on Saturday mornings, learned when to step back and when to step in. The apartment filled with laughter again, not to replace what was lost, but to grow around it. Still, doubt lingered. Late at night, when Emma slept and the city hummed outside, I wondered if love could survive pressure, compromise, and two lives already shaped by loss. One evening, as Claire watched Emma fall asleep on the couch, she whispered, I do not want to be perfect. I just want to be present. I squeezed her hand. Sometimes that is enough. As I looked at the two people who had slowly stitched my heart back together, I wondered if this fragile happiness could truly last. Do you believe love can survive when it forces people to change who they have always been? Yes or no? The change did not happen all at once. It arrived quietly in ordinary moments that slowly rewrote our lives. 6 months after I moved to editorial, I stood in my new office holding a manuscript with my name on the cover page. For the first time since Hannah died, I was not just surviving, I was creating again. Claire noticed before I did. She noticed everything. You look different, she said one evening as we walked along the river, Emma skipping stones ahead of us. Lighter. I smiled. I feel like myself again. That night, Emma fell asleep between us on the couch, her head resting on Claire's shoulder. Claire did not move for a long time, afraid to wake her. When Emma finally stirred and wandered to her room, Claire stayed where she was, staring at the empty space. I never thought I would want this, she whispered. I thought love was something that distracted people from ambition. And now? I asked. Now I think love teaches you what ambition is really for. The real test came quietly, without drama or shouting. One afternoon, Claire came home early. She set her bag down, sat beside me, and took a deep breath. The board offered me a promotion, she said. National role. New York. Bigger influence. Bigger everything. My heart tightened. And what did you say? I said I needed time. That answer alone told me how far she had come. We talked for hours that night, about Emma, about school, about grief, about fear, about how love does not demand sacrifice, but negotiation. I do not want to choose between the life I built and the people I love, Claire said. You do not have to choose, I replied. We will decide together. A week later, she declined the offer. Not because she was afraid, because she knew who she was becoming. I watched her send the email, calm and steady, and realized strength could look like walking away from what once defined you. The proposal did not come with fireworks. It came on a quiet Friday night, back at the same pizza place where everything began. Emma was spending the night at my sister-in-law's house. Claire and I sat across from each other, the table between us worn smooth by years of families and first dates. Do you remember what Emma asked you the first time we were here? I said. She laughed. If I was going to be her new mom within 5 minutes, you handled it better than I did. She reached for my hand. She changed my life, Daniel. Both of you did. I stood up before fear could stop me. I reached into my pocket and placed a small box on the table. I am not replacing what was, I said, my voice shaking. I am building something new alongside it. Hannah will always be part of my story, but I want you to be our future." Claire covered her mouth, tears spilling freely. "Yes," she said before I finished. "Yes." Emma cried harder than anyone at the wedding. She wore a flower crown she picked herself. She held Claire's hand like she had always belonged there. When the officiant asked if anyone objected, Emma shouted no before anyone else could breathe. The ceremony was small. No spectacle, no performance. Just people who had chosen to stay. Later, as we danced under soft lights, Emma leaned up and whispered, "You look happy, Dad." I kissed her forehead. "I am." That night, after the guests left and the house went quiet, Claire traced the faint line where my wedding ring used to be. "Are you sure?" she asked softly. "About starting again." I thought of Hannah, of loss, of pain, of the long nights when grief felt endless. "I am sure," I said. "Love does not erase the past. It honors it by continuing." Months passed, life settled. Emma thrived. Claire balanced leadership with presence. I finished my first book, dedicated to the woman who taught me how to love, and the woman who taught me how to live again. Sometimes, late at night, I would catch Claire watching Emma sleep, her expression peaceful and awed. "I used to think happiness was something you achieved," she said once, "like a promotion or a title. And now," I asked, "now I think happiness is something you protect." This story is not about finding love in the most unexpected place. It is about choosing courage when fear feels safer, about allowing your heart to expand instead of closing it forever. If this story touched your heart, how did it make you feel? And what do you think about the choices Daniel and Claire made? If you enjoyed this story, please comment below and share your thoughts. Let us know which country you are watching from. Do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon so you never miss our next story. And if this story moved you, share it with someone who might need a reminder that it is never too late for a second chance at happiness.